about what is DOM and what is BOM. Two options are there. Actually, the higher level is a browser object model. Browser object model. So it is used by client-side scripts to handle HTML page and browser, to handle HTML page and browser. That is the basic thing. Next important is another option is we need to understand about the DOM. DOM is actually, it is document object model. So HTML page uses the DOM for presentation, the document model for presentation. So technically, you can deal with the browser model by using any client-side script like JavaScript. And document object model, HTML pages uses DOM. So yesterday I told you that HTML is actually, the higher one is BOM, browser model. Inside browser model, we have DOM. So actually, HTML is a language that comprises of elements, arranged in a hierarchy, known as DOM. That is what actually DOM. So HTML, already yesterday I told you, it is a markup language, and this HTML markup language comprises of elements. So HTML is a collection of elements, and they are arranged in a hierarchy known as DOM, document model. Yesterday I given you that overview how the DOM looks like. I will share you that diagram also, so you can understand step by step about this. One by one you will learn about them. Actually, this is the browser model. In the browser model, we know this, that HTML is using this DOM. This is DOM. This is called document model. So this part comes under DOM. That is DOM, document object model. The entire is called BOM, browser object model. So this is the DOM hierarchy we are having. That means this is an order of arranging its elements. HTML arranges its elements in this order. Actually, technically, what happens is, in general, so let's see. Usually what happens when you design any web page, when you design any web page and you request the web page on any browser like Chrome, Internet Explorer, Firefox, any browser. Usually browser loads the page and loads the contents of DOM. For example, yesterday we designed one sample page I given to you. So I will show you. Generally what happens is we have a page and this is HTML page. This HTML page comprises of collection of elements. It contains collection of elements. It contains collection of elements. We are requesting this page in a browser. We are requesting this in a browser. So some browser, Chrome, Firefox, some browser. In the URL, when you request this page in the browser uses an event called DOM content loaded. DOM content loaded. DOM content loaded. That is the event. Browser uses an event called DOM content loaded. DOM content loaded. On this event, actually DOM content loaded event, this is used by browser. On this event, it loads all these elements into the page. That means it loads elements. It loads elements. So it is an event which manages the conversion of elements. And important, after converting the elements, it presents the elements in the page. Now, when we are presenting the elements directly, now the elements are added into your page. The elements are added into your page. So into this page, elements are added. When the elements are added into page, they are represented by using tags. They are represented by using tags. That means when we are designing elements are designed by using tags. Tags are used to design elements. Without a tag, you can design elements dynamically also. Without a tag, we can design elements. But finally, a tag is created for the elements, and through the tag, elements are presented. So HTML is not the collection of elements. And HTML is not collection of elements. HTML is not collection of tags. It's collection of elements which are converted into tag and presented in the page. So if you want to directly present an element, then you can write a tag through the tag, you can create an element, or you create an element, a tag will be created for that. That means tags are used to build an element. Elements can be built by using tags. So that is the reason many times people think HTML is collection of tags, but it is not that. Technically, it is collection of elements only. Already I showed you the process here. Suppose we are opening a page in a browser. So localhost shopping home.html. This is the page. I will press F12 function key. A debugger will come. In this debugger, there is a network category. You see network category. Generally, we have elements category, we have console, we have sources, we have a network category. In network category, select this stop recording network log. Start recording network log. Now refresh the page. Once you request the page again, now you can see home is there. You can see here home page is loaded. Okay. And you observe here at the bottom, it shows a message saying that DOM content loaded. DOM content loaded. So DOM content loaded is an event. On this event, it loads all the elements into browser. It loads all the elements into browser. So that means on that event, it is loading the elements into browser. So technically it is loading that element into browser. This is actually how it is accessing the details. Other details you will understand later, means how they work, how they are designed, other attributes also you will understand later. How to understand this, all this we will discuss in a later stage. Here you can see the timing, means how much request time, how much response time. It will display all the details. That is not important for us, just only we need to understand. So this is DOM content loaded. That is an event. Now, here the key point is, as I told you, so the elements are presented by using a tag. So you can see that. I will write a simple logic for you. And here I am writing a simple logic. I have a shopping. Don't worry about the coding at this level. Am I right? So because I am just showing you the concept. Coding you will able to do by yourself later. Just understand the concept, that is enough. Now here, I am showing you one more technique is, suppose we have a page. In the page, we have a button. So we have a button, and that is create, and button close. And we have a simple div with ID as pick container. Now button on click. When button is clicked, create image. So here we are defining So on click that create image function. Okay, I'm creating an image where img is equal to new image and img dot sr images slash some speaker dot jpg. Never concentrate on my coding, what I am writing, right? Just understand the concept, because we are not into this level to understand this code. We are just in the beginning of HTML. Just I am explaining you concept. Document get element by ID, and that is container, and append child and img. Okay, now observe carefully here. I will open this page. You can see there is a create button. I will open F12 function key. Debugger will come. Go to elements category. In the elements, you can see a div is present, and you can observe carefully that div is empty. You can observe carefully that div is empty. Now I will click this button. You can see an image is created. An image is created, and observe carefully that image is presented by using a tag img. So this is the tag generated to present that particular image. That means without writing the tag, I am creating an image and automatically a tag is generated for it. Everyone understood this? Huh? Everyone understood this? That means everyone clear about this? Huh? So HTML is collection of elements. Elements are presented by using tags. Hope everyone clear about this point. Huh? So what is a tag? Tell me, what is a tag? Don't tell your own definitions now. Tell according to what I told you now. What is a tag? How you define a tag? Can you tell me what is a tag? Tag, what you understood by tag? Technically, tag is used for presenting the elements. Am I right? Huh? Tag is used for presenting the elements. Am I right? So it is a collection of elements. HTML is a collection of elements, but elements are presented by using tags. Tag is not a collection of elements, right? HTML is a collection of elements. Elements are presented by using tag. So now img and image, two options are there. That means HTML is a collection of elements presented by using tag. Here image, this image is an element. img is an tag. Image is an element and img is an tag. That means img is used for creating this image. But remember, in my code, I have created a image dynamically. This is image element. By using this image element, I created an image. I defined source, I defined height and width, and I am adding this into the div, a container. That means here the point is observe in the elements refresh. Initially div is empty, container is empty. Right side you can see that. I click on create button, then it creates an image and it can display that image. It can create and display that image. Now image is element and img is tag for it. Img is tag for it. So technically elements are presented by using tags. How many types of tags are there? These are all we will discuss now. First important you should know is HTML elements are classified into various types, various groups are classified into various groups. So HTML is a collection of elements and elements are categorized into various groups. What are those groups? We have normal elements. We have void elements. We have RC data elements. We have raw text elements. And we have foreign elements. So HTML elements are classified into different types. So generally, if anyone asks how many types of elements are available, you can say they are classified into following types. So we have normal elements, void elements, RC data elements, raw text elements, foreign elements. If you know the difference between these elements, then you can understand them properly. Let's see what these are. What are these various types of elements? So HTML elements are all these categories, types. Normal elements are nothing but these are the elements that return a presentation directly without any attributes. These are the elements that return a presentation directly without any attributes. I will show you. So normal elements are the elements which will return a presentation directly without any attributes. But one problem is there with them. These elements once start returning a presentation, these elements once start returning a presentation will not end the presentation. That is the point about this. Once they start the presentation, will not end the presentation, right? So don't get excited into the questions, because you are going to learn every point. What is attribute? What is property? I know you are very excited into the concepts. You want to know everything about HTML just in one day and finish HTML. I know that you will have such excitement because you are such genius people that you want to finish everything in one day and know about everything in one day, next day job ready, right? It can't happen. You have to have patience to learn the complete concept step by step. So many points are there. Everything you will get to know, right? So no hurry. So just concentrate on what we are discussing. That's enough. Okay, right. Then you will understand every point. You will get to know about them. So generally, normal elements are the elements that return a presentation directly without any attributes. Okay. These elements once start returning, they will not end the presentation. You have to manually end the presentation. You have to manually end the presentation. That is the nature of normal elements. That is the reason, hence these elements will have these elements will have a start tag which is written something like this. This is start tag, and end tag is written like this /b, like this. So they have a start tag and end tag. So generally, what kind of elements need an end tag? If element is presenting something without any attribute and it is continuing the presentation, then we need to stop it. So in that case, we need an end tag. So usually normal elements always have a start tag and end tag. I will show you that. For example, see, just concentrate here on this point is I have some paragraph. So I have some paragraph. Welcome to HTML. It is a markup language. So designed by Tim Berners-Lee. Okay. Now I will save this and I will open this here, and you can see this is what it is having. Now I want to highlight the word markup language. Then I am writing here. So B is a element. B is a tag. B tag for bold. Bold is an element name. Bold is element and B is tag. By using B tag, we are creating a bold element. The ability of this bold element is, have I written any additional things about this bold here? Tell me, have I written any additional things about that bold here? Have I written any additional things about the bold? That means this element is not having any additional attributes. Okay. Usually attributes will extend its functionality. Is it having any attributes? No, it is not having any attributes. Without attributes, can it present anything? Let's observe. I will save this. And I will refresh here. You can see it starts returning bold and it continues bold up to end. So now understood, is it able to return without any attribute? Is it able to return a presentation without any attribute? Yes, it is able to return a presentation without any attribute, right? Yes. But have it stopped returning? It haven't stopped returning. Am I right? It haven't stopped returning. It is continuing. Then how do we stop returning? We have to use an end tag. That means we need an end tag. So after markup language, we should ask it to end manually /b. So this is the end tag. That means now I save this and refresh here. You can see it will end after that markup language. So I hope everyone understood, right? So what is a normal element? Normal element is an element that returns presentation directly without any attributes defined. That returns an element directly on the page. And that presentation will not stop, it will continue. Then we have a problem. We have to manually stop it. Such type of elements are called as normal elements. Normal elements. Usually normal elements will have a start tag and an end tag. Now, if anyone asks you, like, when you need an end tag, then what you will say? Don't say to end presentation. When you need an add tag, what will be your answer? In HTML, when you need an add tag, can you think about answer? In HTML, when we need end tag, in HTML, we need end tag. Tell me, when? Any one of you? Can you tell when you need an end tag? Actually, we need an end tag for an element if it is unable to stop its presentation. Understood? We need an end tag for an element which is unable to stop its presentation. Is everyone clear with this? That means we need end tags for elements which are unable to stop the presentation. Usually, all such elements which are starting the presentation and unable to stop the presentation, such elements are known as normal elements. Understood? So the simple example I showed you is this B, bold. Bold is an element, and this bold element will be B and /B. So many are there, hundreds of elements you will learn. I'm just giving one point, because while learning every element, I will tell you, is it a normal element or void element? We will discuss every element detail, we will learn. First, we are understanding about that. Now, second type of elements, we have void elements. Now, can you tell me, if you already have some programming knowledge, what is meaning by void? What is meaning by void? What is meant by void? What is that? Means which returns nothing. Good. Which returns nothing. Am I right? Void elements are the elements which will not return anything directly. That means here the point is, so these are the elements. These are the elements that will not return any presentation directly. That will not return any presentation directly. These elements require an attribute an attribute that specifies what to return, how to return. It requires an attribute. And very important is they will return only the specified value, and stop. They will return only the specified value and stop. Hence they are self-ending elements. Hence they are self-ending elements. And doesn't require an end tag. Because they already end after the uses. We don't need an end tag for them. For example, I will tell you here, see, simple example I will show you here. Suppose I am writing here, this is one div, okay, and another div. Here I am writing an img. This is an image. I will save this and I will refresh. Is it returning any presentation? Tell me, is it returning any presentation? I am using an element. Am I using an element? I am using an element here. Press F12 function key. When I press F12 function key, you can see that in the div we have an element called img. But is it returning anything? It is not returning anything. These type of elements are called as void elements. Understood? Void elements are the elements which cannot return anything. They cannot return anything. Then we have to tell what to return. That means now I have to say src is an attribute. Images slash speaker.jpg. Some width is 100, some height is 100. That means what to return, how much size to return. These are the attributes we are defining. Now important. Now src here is an attribute. By using the attribute, it will return it. After returning, it will stop. Because you asked what to return, it will return only that and it will stop. So that means, do I need to stop it manually? I don't need to stop it manually. You observe carefully. I don't need to stop it manually. You observe carefully. When I refresh here, it will present an image. So I will save this changes. Okay. And I will refresh here. And you can see it presents an image. If it is a normal element, it should have repeated this speaker up to end of page. Na? Am I right? It should have repeated that speaker again and again up to the end of page. But it is a void element. Means by default, it will not return anything. It will return only what you asked. After returning, it will stop. That means, does it require an end tag? Does it require an end tag? No. So then what do you say? What kind of elements doesn't require an end tag? What kind of elements doesn't require an end tag? What kind of elements doesn't require an end tag? Usually void elements. Okay, then if anyone asks what is an void element, what do you say? What is an void element? If anyone asks what is an void element, then what do you say? Void elements are the elements that cannot return any presentation directly. Void elements are the elements that cannot return any presentation directly. Don't link that with closing and opening, right? They cannot return a presentation directly. They need some attributes for presentation. Am I right? They cannot return a presentation directly. They need some attributes for presentation. Through the attributes, they will present and they will stop. That is the reason we call them as self-ending. So we don't need an end. Attributes, I will tell you, generally attributes are used to extend the functionality of an element. Means extend the functionality. We have attributes, we have properties. You will learn about them later. Don't worry about that now. Attributes are different, elements, properties are different. So a lot of difference is there between attribute and property. As of now, attributes are used to extend the functionality of that particular tag. Understood? Attributes are used to extend the functionality of the tag. The tag is doing only one specific work. You can extend its functionality to do some more work. That you can do that by using an attribute, right? Attributes are used for extending. Attribute is not, remember, whatever you write in a tag is called attribute. Whatever you write in a tag is called attribute. It is not called as a property. Understood? Tags contains only attributes, not properties. Elements contains properties that you will learn later. That's the reason don't put much strain on your brain. So your brains are not enough to take so much in one attempt. That's the reason just cut short, because situation wise you will learn all of them, right? What is difference between attribute and property, all this, right? As of now, attribute is extending the functionality. Without attribute, it is unable to present. And after presenting, it will stop. These kind of elements are called void elements. And example for this, just now I showed you an void element, IMG, that is an void element. So many are there, everything you will learn one by one. How to write the end without end, so many points are there, we will discuss. Our concentration is just to understand this point. What are normal elements, right? And what are void elements? Next, another important, we have RC data elements. RC data elements. Actually, these are rich content elements. Rich content elements. These are rich content elements. So these are the elements. These are the elements. These are the elements which will not allow any another element within the context. Within the context means within it, which will not allow any another element within it. So it will not allow any another element inside it. These kind of elements are called RC data elements. So rich content elements. So how these rich content data elements are displayed, how this will work. For example, I will show you here. In this example, you can see, B is an element. I am using this B element, bold element, in a div. Am I right? I hope everyone can examine that. You can see that. I am using bold inside a div. Am I right? Am I using an element inside another element? I am using an element inside another element. Is it allowing? Is it allowing? Yes, it is allowing. Am I right? It is allowing. Right. But now see here, I am writing here an element called text area. And the text area. Text area is an element. Inside the text area element, you are trying to present another element. And observe here, when I see the output, it will not allow that element, and you can see that it will display as plain text. B is not converted to bold. Understood? So that means even you write an element inside it, it will treat it as a general plain text. It will not allow any another element inside it. It is used for presenting rich text content, and it will not allow any another element inside it. This all we should know, because later when we are presenting, we should know that is it right point to present here or not. Can I present with formats, without formats? Because we are trying inside another element, then we should first know whether it will allow or not. So the example for raw text elements. So this is an example for raw text element. Raw text element is text area. It is a raw text, rich content element, rich content element. Another important element is raw text element. Raw text elements. Raw text elements means these are the elements presented by using raw text. So that is without any tag. That means if anybody says that I can present everything by using tags, HTML is collection of tags, that is wrong. Why? Because several things we can present without a tag. We can present by using a raw text also. For example, see, what are the raw text elements? We have raw text elements. So example, we have raw text elements like ampersand, like less than and greater than. These are raw text elements actually. What are these raw text elements? I will show you here. Suppose here we are designing a div, and here I am writing, so price is #8377 semicolon and 4,500. This is how I written, and I will save this, and you can see that this is presenting like this. It is presenting like this. You can see #8377 semicolon, that is some characters. And what I am doing is I am using this set of characters with ampersand. Now ampersand is a raw text element. This can convert this number into this code and shows an Indian rupee. That means how I am presenting that Indian rupee. Am I using a tag for it? Am I using a tag for it? Is any tag is used for it? No. What I am using for it? I am using raw text. I am using raw text. We are using raw text for presenting the information. That means the elements which doesn't require a tag, they are presented directly by using raw text. These kind of elements are called actually as raw text elements. When to use them, different situations we will discuss about that. These are raw text. They doesn't require a tag. Without any tag, they can present. Based on this, several points will be there. That means, for example, here, not only this, suppose in many interviews, they ask this question like, suppose I want greater than, less than symbol. Suppose you see here, div, and I write here HTML. Now this is considered as a tag, and it is unable to print this. It is considered as a tag and it is unable to print it. But in interview they ask, I want to print this as it is. How do I print this as it is? Then we can do like this. We can use ampersand LT semicolon, that is less than, ampersand GT semicolon, and you can see that it is going to present that HTML in a tag form. That means by using the raw text, we can present that. We can present. These type of points are important for us to understand. Later, you are going to learn detailedly about them. Now, ampersand, GT, ampersand is a raw text element. Is a raw text element. That is general how we can use the raw text elements. That means here we have used a symbol like ampersand hash 8377 semicolon, like ampersand, so copy semicolon, it will get a copyright symbol. All such presentations are done by using raw text elements. These are all raw text elements. And another important is foreign elements. Foreign elements. Actually, these are the elements supported in HTML, but requires additional library. You can import the library and use these elements. That means these are HTML elements, but will not directly work. They require some extra library. We need to download the library. We need to install that library. And with that, we have to use these elements. There are so many. So later you will learn about such elements, like we have canvas, like SVG, like MathML. This all comes under the category of foreign elements. Because when I try to use them, they will not work on every browser. Some browsers, advanced browsers will understand. Some browsers cannot understand that HTML. Then we have to add a library for them, import a plugin. And with that plugin, it can understand and present. That means directly it is unable to present. So it requires some additional library. After importing that library, it will work. Then such kind of elements are called as foreign elements. So that means they will work with HTML, but they require some additional library. So HTML is collection of all these types of elements. So that means first we should know that HTML have these types of elements. Then we can start learning about elements. One by one, all the elements of HTML we will see. So we just learned how many types of elements are there to just get a clarity. What is a start tag? What is an end tag? When to start, when to end, and what is RC data? What is raw text, and what are foreign? Now, all the elements that you are learning, they come under these categories. We will learn one by one about them, how to deal with them, and how do we work with them. So that we will see in our next session. So tomorrow we are going to see that, and mostly by tomorrow. So a new link will be given to only registered people, and our session will be only for registered people, right? So from tomorrow, we will start practical approach, and I will tell you step by step how do we practice. And if you are facing any problem in this practice, then I will help you. I will access your screen and I will see what you are doing and I can help you. So while working with the class itself, right? So tomorrow we will continue with this. Okay, thank you. Every day 1 hour class only.